Welcome to my activating abundance episode of the week. And today I'm really excited about talking about this subject because I want to talk about the abundance of the fall season because the fall season is my favorite season. And I'm sure you have a favorite season. I don't know if it's fall, but I live in Virginia and I don't know how anybody can like any other season. Although I will say spring's really nice because it's exciting. The weather's getting warmer, and especially if it's been a cold winter, and it's really pretty with the azaleas and the forsythia and all those things. But the fall, oh, there's so many great things about the fall. Love the fall. And if you're tuning in to my YouTube channel, you might be noticing a different background. Well, and if you're not on my YouTube channel, you should go check it out. And you can subscribe because I do sometimes live videos there. And if you miss me on Facebook, I usually will stream both places. But anyways, the background is just one piece of paneling that I put up to kind of look like I'm sitting in a nice place. But as I've shared before, I'm in my furnace room. I do my recording in my furnace room. And I'm really excited because I had put up a pink background, which you use this contraption you could change your backgrounds. But this is real. This is like a real background. And so I said to my husband the other day, I was like, you know what I really would like to do before January? Because I want to do this big training in January. But I said, you know what I'd really like to do is I'd like to drywall that wall. I could drywall it, I could paint it, and I could put shelves up. It could be like I could have a not your average grandma sign. Because actually, if you're listening to my podcast, you might not know I'm not your average grandma online, or at least on social media. And so I'm really excited about that. And then my husband's a real get it done kind of guy. I never have to ask him something twice. And then he comes like 2 days later and he goes, that's getting done Thursday. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Or maybe Friday. But anyways, because today's Thursday and it didn't get done today. I thought he said Thursday, but I think it must be tomorrow because I did confirm with him and I said, it's getting done tomorrow, isn't it? And he said, yes. So see, my listening is very kind of, sometimes I don't hear everything. So, oh, wow. That's one of my problems that I'm so distracted with things I'm doing sometimes. And he talks and it's like, wah, 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 like Charlie Brown's teacher. But anyways, I am very excited about my drywall. And so the next time you see me do an episode, well, not really, because I'm going to batch some before I go on my trip. So you'll see the background on those. But the next time I actually hit record when I get back from Greece, there'll be a new background, and the shelving will evolve over time. So don't expect miracles so quickly with the shelving, with the decor. But I back in the day, I did love to do the decor thing, but I just don't really spend time on that anymore. That's for another episode, right? So let's talk about fall. So fall, I have 9 things that I love about fall. So I'd love to know. So shoot me a message on social media or comment below the YouTube if you found your way over to the YouTube video. But I would love to know like what your favorite things are, like just a couple, like what are the top ones? And if any of the ones that I have, you relate to and that you agree with. So, and like I said, I live in Virginia. So Virginia has got to be one of the most beautiful places. Of course, I've never lived anywhere else. So how would I know? So I'm just a little biased, right? Except when I was like very like a toddler, I lived in Massachusetts. But it's very pretty in Massachusetts too. They have seasons, but they're just a lot more severe. So they're already in fall. But Virginia, and I live in kind of the southwestern part now. I used to live outside of DC, but I've always lived on the outskirts near the mountains. I mean, and they're like rolling hills. I mean, people who live in like Denver, these mountains are kind of, they're a little bit smaller. You don't get lightheaded when the altitude is like 3,000 feet. It's not that big. So anyways, but they're beautiful. So much beauty here. The Blue Ridge Parkway. There's a lot of history here. Presidents. I mean, Thomas Jefferson. his home is Monticello's like 10 minutes from my house. Lots of wineries. Oh, I'm jumping ahead. I'm gonna like I'm gonna say something that I like. Is it wineries? I don't know. So I haven't looked at my list since I made it a couple days ago. So, but I had fun thinking about it and putting it together. So let's start. Number one, the weather, just the weather, and going from hot August days to cooler, and especially the cooler nights. I love the crispiness. Like when you go outside and you just it's the heat doesn't hit you when you walk out the door. And it's even gotten to the point now where it's like in the 70s during the day. And it's like so much more fun to take my dog for a walk. It's like I don't get like sweaty. Yeah, it's just I have more energy when the weather's cooler. And I have good hair days because I have very curly hair and I really have to I really work to make it straight. Which I did today, but it's also great because I can just scrunch it and go curly. But what happens is when I blow dry my hair, it curls up. I mean, in the heat and the humidity like curl it up. So I like the drier, less humid days because my hair looks much better on those days. I get compliments on it a lot too. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Give me the fall. Give me the winter, is good too, but I don't like the cold so much. All right. I mean, it's good for hair. All right. Number two, the colors. Oh my gosh, the colors will take your breath away. Often I'll be driving along a road because we have rural roads where I live. And so there's a lot of farms and trees and cows and horses and hills and just you have a lot of those trees that are so beautiful in the fall and all different variety of colors, yellow, orange, red. I mean, it's like so beautiful. And so I will take my phone and I'll video it. I have this new thing on my dash, which is like magnetic. So I can like record without like being distracted. I can just set it to record and I can do a time lapse. I should do that for just to, pair up a social media story with this episode because it is so beautiful. And this is where wineries come in. So I knew I was going to be talking about them. So when you go to a winery, usually the setting is gorgeous and there's a lot of mountain view settings where I live. And so it's just brilliant. It's like somebody took an artist, like painted the scene for you. It's just lovely. I love that. So the colors are, to me, I just brings me so much abundance. And that's why I'm making it an abundance episode. And so number three, the time change. Fall forward, spring back. Or is it, wait, spring? No, I'm sorry. I got it wrong. Oh my gosh. So sorry. It's spring forward. Of course, you spring forward, you spring backwards. Spring forward, fall back. Yeah, makes more sense. But that's what I love is because when you fall back, you get an extra hour. So like 25 hours in one day. I hate spring for that reason because you get an hour stolen from you. I feel like, no, that's not fair. I need that extra hour. And when I get to the fall, it's like a gift. It's just like this gift from the universe that I have this extra hour and like, and I'm just saying right now for that hour, make it a self-care hour. Take that extra hour, even though I don't know why they do the time change in the middle of the night because like we can't enjoy it as much when it's in the middle of the night, right? So I think they should move that up. So at least it's like, 9 o'clock at night. Because most people, I guess it's because most people don't work at 3 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, so the only people that get to enjoy that are the night shift people. And like, do they really want to work an extra hour? I don't know how that works. I know that in bars, they used to just close. Some did just close the bar when like they pretended it like didn't shift, because a lot of bars will close at 2, and then so if you back it up to 1, then they have to stay open an hour longer. So that would be a disadvantage, but I don't think they do that. I think they still close down. Unless I guess they could make more money, right? Guess they could make more money. I haven't been to a bar like that at 2 o'clock in the morning for a long time. I do not stay out late till 2. So maybe I need to ask somebody who is an a bar goer. Somebody, I live in a college town, so there's plenty of people around here to ask that question. What happens on daylight saving time on when you fall back in that bar? But I love it. Love that extra hour. So number 4, football. Football. I love the I love the Carrie Underwood song. I mean, that hasn't been around forever, but on Monday Night Football, I just love it so much. And the reason why I love football, and we lost it last year without, with the pandemic, we just didn't have it. And I live in a college town. Of course, I haven't lived here my whole life. I've moved here when I got married to my second husband. So I've been here now since like 2009 permanently, but like visited it a lot in the kind of 2.5 years we were dating. So yeah, in fact, today is an anniversary of sorts. So we started dating like 15 years ago. And so, yeah, so for 15 years, I've been in this college town, but it all started when I was a kid. When I was a little kid, my parents were avid Redskins fans. And I'm going to say Redskins because that's what they were. They're now called the Washington football team, but they were the Redskins. And the Redskins were like Sonny Jurgensen, Billy Kilmer. I mean, and then Joe Theismann was when I was a little bit older. I mean, like I learned the rules very early on because that's what we did on Sundays. My mom was such a fan, just like my dad. And I was forced because like we had one TV in the house, right? So I had to watch if I wanted to, do anything and I had to, or be around my parents, I had to watch the football game. And so I am really good at knowing the rules. In fact, my husband and I have thought about having some fun thing in the fall where we teach women what they would obviously come. I think it would be fun if it was a couple that came in and the woman didn't really know the rules, and we could teach the woman. The goal would be to like teach you the rules because my husband, like, he could be a coach and a referee and all that. He knows so many, and a lot of times when the announcers say something, he just said it like 30 seconds ago. So he's always like saying how the play should be or what should happen. And it's so funny. But yeah, so I love tailgating. We do the tailgate thing. It's very social. I'm a social person. And so, I also remember a cute little side story. Our first color TV, I remember, I think I was about 10 years old, or, we lived in that house for 4 years. So between 8 and 12. So I think I was like on the, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. But I remember when we got that TV, and I remember my mother, what she said was, "Oh, look at how green the grass is." And I remember thinking, who cares about the grass? Can we change a channel and watch something different? But yeah, it's so funny because even now, like when I watch sports on TV, especially golf, like how beautiful it is, especially in high definition, the colors. And so, yeah, football. I mean, and if you think about my parents having never had color TV, what a game changer that was for them to go from black and white to and watching these games always in black and white. And then I understand now how that looked and how like remarkable it was for her. But yeah, so I love football. That's number 4. So number 5, fires. I love fires. Oh my gosh, the crackling. Well, I will say I like gas fires because they're easy and convenient, but I love a good log fire. I love the smell of logs. But I will say I choose to have gas fireplaces because to me, just the ambiance of having a fire, sitting by the fire, and like doing the logs and the whole thing is a production. And so if I didn't have a gas fireplace, I would do a fire much less often. And like we like to get up in the morning and turn the fire on. It's just like so cozy. So I love a fire. I have another little funny side story. You're going to hear a lot of little funny side stories probably here. So my mom, we used to have a log fireplace, and my mom would take the ashes out and clean the fireplace. And, I don't know how many days or how many fires you technically can have before you need to clean out the fireplace. But my mom, I think she seemed to always like, as soon, no matter when we had a fire, she would just clean it out afterwards. She wouldn't like wait until it got like super ashy. That's just my recollection. So we had a very clean house. So my mom worked, so she did everything. But yeah, so she would clean out the fireplace. And I remember one morning we woke up and she had, I mean, if you think about this, it sounds like my mom's really dumb, but I can see myself doing something like this too. But she cleaned out the fireplace and she thought the ashes were cold, right? She thought the ashes were like the fire was done with the fire. We did the fire yesterday, and I think she might have like done it first thing in the morning or something. I don't know, but whatever she did, the ashes were not completely cold. She dustpanned the ashes out of the fireplace and she put them in a paper bag. She put them in a grocery store brown paper bag. And thank God she put it outside on the concrete patio, but it was right next to the house. And our house had wood siding, but it was next to the sliding glass door. So she cleaned out the fireplace, and instead of using an ash can, because they have those, I don't even know if we had one, she put it in a paper bag, and so it burned. The paper bag burned. Yeah, I remember that. The funny things we remember, that our parents did. So yeah. So another one, number 6, it was the Waterford Fair. And this is something that is only if you live in Northern Virginia or you've been in Virginia when the Waterford Fair is on. And it is on every year, the first weekend in October. And it's the neatest fair. It's like this fair that is like takes you back in time. And it's in a very historic town. In fact, I lived like 10 minutes from Waterford when the last home I lived in before I moved to Charlottesville. And it started many years ago. My mom first took my sister and I to the fair. I mean, we were adults. It wasn't like we were little when she first took us. We were adults, but I was not even living near Waterford. I was living probably like half an hour, 45 minutes away. And so she invited us and we went, and it was just this most amazing experience. You're not allowed to be a artisan. So they have these, think of a farmer's market, but spread out through the entire town. And they have these little areas set up, and but everybody who has a booth or whatever you call it has to make it in like the way that they made it in the olden days. Can't use anything like that they didn't have to manufacture or make your product that you sell. So a lot of homemade goods, a lot of like making like apple butter from scratch, such amazing things, like handmade jewelry, and just really incredible stuff. One thing we always did was get the kettle corn, the really good kettle corn. And then they had this old country store. So, and you could go in and get an ice cream cone, but the homes, they also had homes that you could go in and tour. So you could like sign up for the special pass, and you could go into these homes that were built like in the 1700s and see them. And some had been refurbished. So that's always neat. And then they had a Christmas area, so you could get like Christmas stuff. There was one building, like a barn. They had another barn that had like paintings and artwork, and and then of course they had animals, so you could see like sheep and goats and they also had reenactments. Yes, reenactments. So, people they would be dressed in costume and they'd go out on the field and have a battle. Oh, dried flower arrangements, amazing dried flower arrangements. So, anyways, I could go on about the Waterford Fair. If you're ever in Virginia the first weekend of October, in fact, you should probably plan a trip around it. Now, that weekend is not necessarily vibrant colors. The vibrant colors, are kind of just starting now. I mean, there's some colors, but they really get rich towards, the mid to late October, right before they fall off the trees. And the Waterford Fair, the thing I love about it too is we like to go because it is like there's only one single road to get. Well, there is a back way to go, but there's very limited access to this town. And the line gets so long that you have to like wait and you park in fields. And so we would go early to beat the crowd. And just because, like I said, the crisp, cool mornings or evenings are like mornings, right? Too. At night before the sun comes up, um, or in the morning, right after the sun comes up is a better way to say it. Before the sun gets too high in the sky, it's cool. It's brisk. It's like sweater weather or jacket weather. And so it's so fun. I love the whole vibe of going and you've got your jacket on, you've got like double layers, and then you take it off because it usually gets nice in the day. And so we've built a tradition where we do that with our kids. And now my kids have kids. And so, we didn't get to go this year. We didn't go last year because of the pandemic, and we couldn't go this year because I can't remember what it was, but I think I was watching my grandkids and my daughter and her husband were away. So we couldn't go. I think she was at a wedding. Yeah. And so so we weren't able to go this year. And so I was kind of bummed because now, we can get out because things aren't shut down as much. And so next year, it's going to be next year, we'll do it again. So that number 7, right? Or no, number 6, that was Waterford Fair, number 6. All right. Number 7. Oh, this is good. Getting a whole new wardrobe. So, because really, when you live in a 4-season state, like I do, you haven't seen your clothes for 6 months. You haven't seen your winter clothes since likely March, right? And so it is so much fun to pull out the things that you haven't worn for a while. I got this, it almost looks like an Uggs top. It's like this fleecy top that's pretty warm. And I was so excited to put it on and wear it a couple days ago. And my Uggs boots, I mean, they're the easiest thing to slide on when I want to take my dog out. But, I don't wear them in the summer. I wear, flip-flops in the summer. So I love my Uggs boots. And so, yeah, it's so nice to get these clothes back on. And it's like, you don't need to go buy something because it's like brand new stuff. And then until it gets old by, January, February, then you need to go shopping. And boots, not just my Uggs boots, but just like boots. Like I love wearing boots. I love wearing skinny jeans with boots. And yeah, I don't do that in the summer. And I guess people maybe that live like in Texas wear boots all year round, but I don't do that. Maybe I think college kids do nowadays. They like put cowboy boots on with dresses in the summer. I think they do that, but I'm an old fogey. I don't do that kind of stuff. I just put the boots on in the winter when it makes sense. So, yeah, I have no like frat party to go to with a sundress and cowboy boots. So, okay, what is next? We have 8, not the 8th. Oh my goodness, this one is kind of funny. This is funny, and only somebody who is probably my age would relate. And so, not having to shave my legs. Well, anybody can relate to that because you do shave your legs less in the winter. I think most people do because like nobody's looking at your legs. You've got pants on, and you got knee socks on. You got boots on. So you don't really need to shave your legs. I guess poor person, if you have a partner and they want to stroke your leg and they don't like it hairy, then that might be a problem. But I've never had a lot of hair on my legs. That's a man thing, not a woman thing, I think. But as I've gotten older, and this is what I was saying about you can relate, as I've gotten older, like the hair is like I have less hair and it doesn't grow very fast. And I know that's probably a thing that goes with age, and that's something I'm okay with because I go through a lot less razors, disposable razors. And shaving legs is like take a whole extra 10 minutes in the shower. So, anyways, I like not having to shave my legs as often, but that's also a byproduct. Like I said, I'm not shave them too much anyway. All right. But that was back when I was younger. That was a big thing that I liked when it got into the warmer with the cooler season is wearing pants equals not having to shave. All right. And then the last number 9 is, and thank you for hanging out and sticking with me through this, eggnog. Number 9 is eggnog, because who doesn't love eggnog? And do you know, probably one of the reasons I thought of this, I might have forgotten it, but one of the reasons I added it was because my husband just bought some. And so it's back in the stores now. It is not here year round. It's such a treat. And my grandmother used to fix spiked eggnog with the little sprinkles of it was nutmeg. I think she used nutmeg. And yeah, those are the memories I have of my grandmother. And my husband loves it. He goes through a lot. And I'm like, that's kind of a lot of calories. So sometimes I'll mix it. I'll like water it down a little bit. And I like mine spiked. So honestly, eggnog, why waste some calories? Why don't you make it what you want? Yummy, yummy. And then you don't worry about the calories so much if you put alcohol in it. Yeah. So what do you like about fall? What are there, like, one of the things that I also thought of was some of the food and recipes. Like I love turkey dinner. But that's more getting into like the holiday season. That's not kind of things I like talking about, like the coming of fall, and once fall is here, those are the things that once fall is here, you can start doing these things. But yeah, so lots of food related that apply to wintertime versus you don't eat them in the summer. So I could have a big list of that. Chili, soup, spaghetti, although we do eat spaghetti in the summer, but yeah, just there's things that are better in the cooler weather. S'mores on the fire pit. Yes. So I could make my list longer, but I thought I'd stick to 9. And so I'd love to know what you like about fall. And I'm kind of sad actually, because I'm going to miss like 9 days of fall by going to Greece. So I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, darn. Why did well, I didn't really have a choice because I'm going on a retreat. So those dates were set. So I didn't have an option. But I think Greece will be an okay alternative. Yeah. And it's kind of fall there. So we'll see what it looks like, what Greece looks like in the fall. You'll add that to my memory banks. But I am feeling amazingly abundant about all the great things and the good things that I see that are free in the world with fall, with the inception of fall. Well, I will say that the Waterford Fair is not free, and the football game, if you go inside, sometimes I just tailgate, but if you go inside, that's not free. But everything else that I listed is totally free, and it's available. Just have to pay attention, right? And notice it. So thanks for hanging with me and hearing all my little side stories. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend and enjoy the fall wherever you are. Thank you so much for tuning into the Not Your Average Lives podcast. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe on iTunes if you have an Apple device. You can find free resources and learn what else I have going on at the moment that might interest you on my website at notyouraveragegrandma.com. You can also find me on Instagram or Facebook at notyouraveragegrandma. If you liked this episode, it would make my heart so happy if you could leave me a 5-star rating. You can also add a review to let me know what you like about this podcast, which will help spread the word about it to others who need a little midlife inspiration. As always, be you, listen to your inner voice, and focus on reigniting that lost spark so you can start living your own, not your average life.